So it's midweek Wardy's waffle time. You can see Tom behind me in the RX, and we are starting to solo the cover crop in. Not quite sure what's happened. I've been at my grandson's pony club event this afternoon. This bit over my shoulder here we've topped. We have got a topper in. We hired a topper, but maybe it's broken. But we're now just soloing straight into the cover crop. So I'll have more on this on Sunday. But in this update, quite a lot going on. Looking at oilseed rape storage. Also got the rogers back in, pulling blackgrass and weed beet. Also, containers have arrived for the seals event. We've got 3 containers we have storing some of the equipment in that the seals people established the crops with. Oh, and also a little trip to Spaldings to see, this is the spare part company, so I'll have more on that in another update. Thanks very much for watching. If you make it to the end, we'll see you then. Don't forget, Sunday we'll be looking more in detail at Tom's soloing and get you ready for winter wheat for this next year. Ruben's pushing up. You can see we're getting right in the doorway now. And when we're in the doorway of this shed, we have to put some rape around the corner of the door like that. Because you can't get lorries in the corner, you can't get it tipped up and pushed around the corner, so you have to bucket it round. Really is 10 metres forklift. You see the tube's nice and high. We put motors on those, and that sucks all the hot air out the crop. We have to cool it down to below 10 degrees, ideally 5 degrees. This year it's not coming in too hot, it's about 22, 25 degrees the warmest, whereas last year some of it was up to 30. We had the roguring team back, you can see them just behind me, and we are up at the heath now on sugar beet, and this particular field was the one that was in my midweek video this last week, where we've got the patch, the herbicide trial you can see there with lots of weeds in it. They've said this particular short rows here of this field was really bad for sterile brome, very short brome, and blackgrass as well. And this other half here, the longer rows here, doesn't look too bad apart from the edge. I'll just turn the camera around there and show you. This field is 57 acres. So you can see there's wild oats. And then there's weed beet, which is that. And then we have, and weed beet are plants that don't grow as normal sugar beet. They start off as sugar beet, then change their growing cycle and turn into a weed. So we have to pull those as well because they can be problematic. And that's what those are in the middle of the field there. Anyway, they have to cart them all off. Apart from the weed beet, we can drop, because the seeds haven't set yet, but everything else we're carting off. I'm going to put in the bucket there. Then we have another bucket in the corner of the field over there. Nala's having a play. Where's the stone? So the roguring team have finished. Only had 2 days here, done sugar beet and 1 field of barley. And Maris, yeah, you say you are not coming back.
No,
you've had enough. You don't like us.
Not this season.
You don't like us.
Maybe next season. The job is all right.
What are you going to do?
Cutting leeks.
You're pulling leeks.
Yeah, cutting leeks. Cutting, harvesting leeks.
Yeah. And how many can you do in a day? Yourself as an average person?
500, 800 average person.
500 to 800 kilograms.
Yeah.
And how many of you in the team doing it?
Almost all. In the team is around 12 cutters.
Yeah.
And almost all doing that.
And so you'll start in when you come back from your holiday in 2 weeks, and how long will that go on until?
Till next year, end of April, May.
You're doing leeks or other vegetables as well?
Just leeks.
Just leeks?
Just leeks, yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah, good, great. Well, thank you very much, everybody. You've all done very well, and we've had a great job. Thank you. And we'll see some of you, hopefully, when we come back to do the other sugar beet. Yes, binding. I've just come to Sleaford to get some roll pins for Tom for the mole drainer, and just coming past Simba's old factory where they used to be on the left here in one of the industrial estates at the back of Sleaford, and I just thought how sad it is with a company like Simba's. They were just fantastic with all their machinery they had, and they were taken over by Great Plains, which is an American tillage cultivation company, and they didn't understand the European market and built machines that weren't suitable for the market. They changed the colour of Simba, they changed the branding, and Simba were always a sort of an orangey yellow colour. You could spot those a mile off working across in a field. And then Great Plains got them, and they changed the branding to Simba Great Plains. They changed the colour from the orangey yellow to a green, and they immediately became unrecognisable because there's so many green machinery companies. And I think that's a real telltale sign that when you take over a company, be very careful and don't change the branding, because when you look at Land Rover, are owned by Tata, but it's not called the Tata Range Rover or the Tata Discovery, it's called the Land Rover Discovery. And I think Great Plains really, it's sad that they did this, and they closed the company down. And I used to do an awful lot with Simba over the years, because we were sort of, I was an ambassador for them. We did a lot of farm visits, and I used to go abroad talking at conferences and things in Poland and Ukraine, and helped on farms in Ukraine quite a lot. So it was a really sad time for me when they went. And I think Great Plains only had Simba, I think probably about 4 years, maybe 5 at the very most, but that was all before they closed them. So this is it. This is down Woodbridge Road, an industrial estate just at the back of Sleaford. And this is all their factory on the left hand side. Just in here, that was all Simba's. I'm not quite sure who's got it now, but that was all full of Simba machinery. Anyway, the people who do the bolts, if anybody wants any fastenings, they are brilliant, this company. What they haven't got, they'll get, but they've got most things in stock. And this is where we come to. Lincolnshire Fasteners. So that has got sorted. Now we've got the roll pins. We've got 10 of those. You can see that's what a new one. That's what a new one should be like. You can see with the gap there against this one, with the gap closed up because it's split, so the tension's gone off it. And we've got some nuts as well, some 12mm nylock nuts and some 12mm ordinary nuts. So you can see the big difference here with the roll pins actually when you look there. They are the same size, believe it or not. Anyway, that's it. So great place here locally. We've normally got most things in stock, so we'll get off back to the farm and then get these things back on the mould drainer. Actually, driving away from here, I've just noticed it's Sleaford Quality Foods has this site now, where Simba's used to be. I'm just heading into Lincoln to Spaldings. Spaldings are a spare parts supplier for all agricultural wearing parts, I suppose tractor filters as well. They do a huge amount now to what they used to do. Main office is in Lincoln, and these are non-genuine wearing parts for machines, but I'm not quite sure how they source them, but I'm going for a meeting with them. We did get some discs to replace our Solo, to put on our Solo a few weeks ago, but we didn't realise we'd already got some, so I'm going to take some of these back, and that's why I've got the box in the back of the Polaris. It's about 14-15 miles, but this will do 58 miles an hour top speed, so it'll be fine. And then after that, I have got a visit to I don't know whether it's a chiropodist, a chiropractor, or a specialist regarding backs, but I've been recommended this chap to me a few times by a few people who've said that they've sorted them out when other people couldn't, so I'm going to go and see him as well while I'm in Lincoln. Anyway, I'll head off now. I've got 25 minutes to get into Lincoln with the Polaris, and should make it. So I've arrived at Spaldings about 25 minutes later. I'll take a little bit of a detour. These are the discs I'm bringing back, so just heading to a meeting now. Into here, that's where we need to be. So I've just had the meeting with some of these guys, and I've got Nigel and Paul here. Yeah, he's just gone off. So Paul, we're just in the warehouse here at the minute. Just sort of things that you do. What have you got here?
Yeah, this site here is 60,000 square foot.
Yeah.
Narrow aisle racking. All the guys are on lunch at the minute, so it's not a hive activity.
No, you can see all the racking here. Yeah.
But it's been very, very busy this morning.
Yeah, and this is a busy time of year for you now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And then when you start to look at the other things you were saying about the mulchers and toppers and things you've got, all those machinery, what sort of machines do you do?
We've got a range of the Cantella forestry mulchers and sort of grassland mulching machines, flail toppers. All that is in a separate warehouse across the other side of the yard there, basically.
So it's not just wearing parts you do, you've also got machines as well. So we're going to be coming here and doing a full feature on this in sometime in August. It will go out, and looking forward to seeing it, because you can see there are big companies put spare parts all over England and Ireland. And Ireland you go to as well, so great. So look forward to that. So keep an eye out for this update, and we'll have a full feature here on Spaldings and how the company started and what they do. Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Andrew.
You can just see prime example here what we've got. These are sort of subsawing legs, are they? What are these?
They will fit onto a Tim Howard or...
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Tim Howard leg.
Right, yeah. Wearing parts here, some feet sort of thing they do here. Some more legs there. Looks like that's a shakerator. Shakerator. Yeah.
And then some moulding legs there.
Oh, moulding, yeah. Sunday evening is always a favourite evening for hot air ballooning. And here we have one, I think, is going to be landing on the farm before it gets to the A17 through there. There he is, not very far away. I think it's actually climbing again now. I've just put my binoculars on, and I reckon there's about 8 or 10 people in there. You can see they're putting some more flame in the bottom to try and get them some more height. Frankie doesn't like them. They are definitely going higher again. So there's the yard through there, and the balloon is about level with it. I'm sure it's going to make it over the A17. Look of it, only just. Spoken to the Land Rover and the crew who are they follow it round and pick it up, and they were going to land in this field here near the chicken unit, but they haven't got. They realised the gate was locked here, so they couldn't get in, and I haven't got keys to get in it. So they lifted up again, and they've now gone over the top. There's the poultry sheds. They've gone over the top towards the back of Brambruton. So they're going to head out now and try and get it. And then this trailer follows them round. They've got two-way radios with them, and there's 16 in the basket, apparently. And they're set off from Belton House, which is near Grantham. So it's Monday morning, 29th of July, which just happens to be my birthday. But work day as normal. You can see the poultry shed roofs behind. Tom's just moulding this field that we're taking over, or the rest of the field from the poultry unit. Because we know it hasn't had anything done to it for a long while. So it's going to do it a lot of good, this field is. We used to farm this field up to about 4 years ago. We've farmed it for 11 to 12 years, so we know exactly what it's like. And this is the one you saw in the video last week that's got a lot of black grass in it now, and weeds from being idle, being fallow. It has got a drainage scheme in. The drains go right up and down the field, and it's pours filled with gravel, so we've managed to go through those as well. And this is the bank that they've built. And so they've chopped off a lot of the drains here when they're putting these buildings up. But I'm going to give them the drainage plan that I've got, so we can see, make sure we're not impeded at all. It's just doing the outside breed down the hedge side, but we've got a few heaps of soil down this concrete road to the poultry sheds, so we're not going to do the headlands yet because this soil needs moving. Bit of gravel there and some waste there from when this hedge was pulled up to put this new entrance in. So we're just going to leave it until this is all sorted, then we'll come back and mould the headlands and make sure we do it properly, because there's going to be a wooden fence put down this side. So Tom's now in the paddock just in between the house and the A17. because this hasn't been done for a while. So these bits of soil that's sticking up, we'll just put the culti press across there, just run across the ends, and it'll push them down like that. They'll be fine. Just go along with these and just do that with it, and just make sure the lumps are all in a line, and the press will just push that down. You'll not hardly see where it's been. So this field is drained across that way, short ways on, into a main drain along the woods side. That was a drain it went through just here. I think that was a drain. These two heaps of rubbish here near the house, Barry has cleared them out from the other side of the hedge here. This is where the garden is, just to the left of that hedge, and this was the old office a few years ago, and this electric cable we're going to have moved, and Ron's put a box on there, so we're going to have two supplies to the house. This supply will be to that building that we're going to keep, and then another supply to the house. We're going to plant some wildflowers in this area and tidy it all up. Oh, talk of the devil, here's Barry. It's Tuesday morning, what is it today, 30th of July, and we've still got rape going in. We've nearly got one of the sheds full around the corner, which we'll have a look at. Tom's just getting the 8RX out with the mole drainer on, you can see there, and he's going to take that off. It's finished now what we're doing for the time being until after harvest. Going to put the solo on and then start to cultivate the land, the cover crops, ready for planting with winter wheat, which hopefully we want to do at the end of September. But just wanted to show you a sample. I think this is the highest admix we've ever had. There's nothing wrong with the moisture or the temperature. This is a sample Ruben's just done, but you can just see everything that's in it. There's barley in it as well. And when you look at the sample here, this is straight out the lorry. We've still got the lorry on the weighbridge because we are having to reject this because it's just so high we can't clean it, take this much out. When you look at it, I'll just do a sample. We need to weigh 100 grams. Just tear that off. Just need to weigh 100 grams. There we go. And then we get the sieves. Make sure they're in the right order. Big one at the top, little one underneath. We then tip that 100 grams in there to get a percentage. That's what we're after. Then we sieve that. There we go, that's got rid of all the rape through there. That's the big stuff out. Make sure that's reading 0, which it is. So you can see there everything that's in it. Weed seeds there, barley. Then we keep grass seed there. There'll be black grass seeds in these, that's what they will be, ordinary grass seeds as well. So you keep shuffling those round to get all the dusty stuff through. And there's the dusty stuff, then we add that to it. It's gone up to 5.7, 5.8%, that's percentage because we put 100 grams in. Amazes me when you get it like this, as bad as this, why this should all be taken out on the combine. Barley is very easy to kill in oilseed rape, so I'm not sure what's happened here, whether the barley, the spray wasn't put on or the combine wasn't set properly. Maybe a bit of both looking at this. Ruben's just going around to push up some loads in that other shed. We've got 1 or 2 in that shed 5 there to push up as well. Tom's just putting some diesel in, ready to go on the solo. We've got the combine out, we've just got it running at the minute on tick over, just charging the battery because it only just started. We won't be combining for probably another 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, but the wheat is ripening quite quick at the minute. But interesting, we've still got the lorry sat on the weighbridge here, and this load that we've rejected, it's not good. It's not good really, we hate doing it because it mucks up the whole plans for that haul here for the day. and he's got a whole day set out. That's now been ruined because of all this this load's not up to standard. There's the lorry finally going. Not quite sure where he's going. He's going somewhere to have the load cleaned. Whether it's going to come back here eventually, I'm not too sure. I doubt it. I'm walking down one of our stewardship areas, so that's an area of the farm that we've got into environmental stewardship or countryside stewardship, and these are areas that are either awkward shaped bits or at the end of a field, or areas that are difficult to farm. And we replanted these about 3 weeks ago. Some of you have seen that, and you can see now how this one's established really well. Looking really good, this one is. Few weeds in it, that's the only snag. There's some fat hen in it, but it has established really well. Just talking about this, I've had a few questions from people about why do we do it and want to know a bit more details. Well, in the countryside stewardship agreement or scheme, you can enter into different things. And there is talk at the moment that in the next month or two that countryside stewardship is going to merge with SFI. So SFI is the Sustainable Farming Incentive, which DEFRA, spearheaded by the previous government, brought out a year or two ago to help the environment and pay farmers to take land out of production and grow food for birds and wildlife. So this at the moment is in what we call winter bird food cover. We are getting for these areas about £850 a hectare, and we have about 20 hectares dotted around the farm, and these areas are all to encourage wildlife, and they're often linked up to areas like this, which is grass strips, and we also have wildflower strips around fields as well. Now wildflower strips are paid a bit less than the winter bird food. I think they're paid just under £800 a hectare, and the grass only strips less still. So the most payment the most payment you get is for the winter bird food plots, where I just showed you a minute ago. Now it's a 5-year agreement we have with the countryside stewardship, and we have to rotate these crops. We can't put one crop down at the start of the 5 years and then leave it. You have to sort of have like a mini rotation. So we treat all these areas like a little individual field. I keep costings of them as well, so we know what our outgoings are. And despite them having £850 a hectare income, we have seed, which is quite expensive. It's pushing £100 a hectare. We have the cost of establishing it. We have slug pellets you saw me put on the other day as well, because they get eaten out of house and home. And so there are extra costs, or a lot of costs with this. But the wildflower areas, the margins we have around the fields, they actually can stay down. And so this particular margin here, this is a grass only margin. This has been down, I think, since about the 2010, whereas our longest areas, margins that have been down are our flower margins, where we put them in 2005. So that's nearly 20 years they've been, and they are really, really thriving now. I think one of them, or two of them, are starting to get overrun with some grasses. We might have to redo them this next year, but I'll take options. I'll take advice from Jim Egan with that, from King's Crops. So, bit of an explanation about the countryside stewardship. Also, just mentioning Jim, he is going to be coming over. He's on holiday at the minute for a few weeks. He is coming over in early September, and we're going to do a feature looking at our SFI agreement, the various things we've entered into. We'll look at the plots that we've drilled here, and looking at how, I'll turn around so we're in the sun, looking at how good they are, because they'll have really grown by the early September. And we'll go into a lot more detail about the SFI, about options, and about what his thoughts are about stewardship, and also combination with producing food. So the cereals event build-up starts. This is a container that's arrived for the storing of stuff throughout the year. We're just going to put it down the side of the shed here. Got another container arrived there, 40 foot, and there's another 20 foot on the way. So we're going to lift this container in one go. It's full of equipment. Moment of truth. Apparently it's not very happy, that's what it's shouting for. It's on its limit for lifting. Having to attach a rope on it to steer it round. We've got our Manitou at the end now, just helping support the end. So Ruben's going back with the Manitou at the same time as moving the container. These are the controls for it down here. So Ruben's put the wheels in crab because we want to slide it across to here, where this side of the shed. Come on, Nala, Frankie.
Simon, so we put it down.
Right, we're taking the chains off the far end, so hopefully our Manitou will lift that end. The chains this end on crab steer. We'll wind it into the shed. Yeah, look at that. We're just going level with the back of the shed with it, just so that it gives us a bit more room at the front for when we lift that sugar beet that's in there and it comes in the yard. So second container's now going into position. Just looking at these legs and supports on here. Crikey, they've got some whip and some bow on. When you look, can't quite see it from here. Just backing this one into place. So we're going to put all 3 containers in a line down here, which means we've got to move some of this stone heap, but we'll get that other long container in first, and if some of this stone goes against this second container it won't matter. So they've only got the lift on the one lorry, so this one's just pulling out the way. That's it, that's the third one nearly in place. We wanting the concrete panel in the door, or concrete panels. You'll see again there's a lot of admix in this one. Just look at that, all that could be taken out in the combine. Trouble is, farmers get penalised for doing this, so they'll actually lose money when just a few more minutes setting the combine out, they would benefit financially from doing it. It's odd really. You can see the trailer how it hangs on the back. Ruben's just blowing it off. So thanks very much for watching. That's it for this midweek update. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, this coming Sunday we'll be looking at Tom incorporating all these cover crops with the Solo and getting all this land ready for drilling with winter wheat in September. So that's 8 AM Sunday morning. See you then.